Hello, everyone, and welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and I got my special guest again, JT, and we're going to be discussing some crazy Christmas shorts we saw this past week. so,
Christmas
uh,
little short cartoon films. Yes, animated
yes,
film. Yeah.
yes. And why don't you kind of talk a little bit about this DVD and whatnot, and what intrigued you about these cartoons?
So, like I mentioned in our previous video, my wife loves Christmas. I do too, but I think she loves it a little bit more. We have a catalog of Christmas movies,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
we do show a good amount to our kid. And these cartoons she's like, oh, you should wonder if you've seen these, because these cartoons are definitely made up, I don't know, like the 30s, 40s, I think, maybe even the 50s. And we have a DVD set. It was like 4 hours of these classic cartoons, but the ones they really advertise are Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it's not the one, not the Basque one, the
Right,
claymation
right.
one. It's a different one. It's a completely different story. And then you have the Ice Queen, and then something about Christmas and Santa and Three Bears or something, I think it was called.
Yeah, I was like Santa and the Three Bears. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, well, yeah, maybe you might want to watch these. So you said yes, so here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. And like he said, there are a couple cartoons on there. I was only able to watch three of them, so we'll just talk about those. And
Mhm.
what's interesting reading about these is with some people's reviews, some of them have different versions on YouTube than they do on the disc.
Okay. I did not know that. I've only seen them on the disc. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and some of these are retold in different ways in other ways of other
Right.
companies. So like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, everyone knows the claymation one, right? That's the most popular one. That story there is completely different than the one in this cartoon. It's more of, it's Rudolph. I mean, he's a
Right.
reindeer and he does have a red nose, but Santa kicks him to the curb, and he kind of does his own thing, but he does eventually save Christmas, like he does. But there's
Right.
no like islands of misfit toys, or there's
No, there's none of that.
there's no like elf that wants to be a dentist.
Yeah.
It's a little more a little darker, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah. Well, and since we're talking about that, let's go ahead and bring it up here. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is from 1948, and it was created by Fleischer Studios. Now, you may know them from Popeye,
mhm.
Betty Boop. Uh, who else am I thinking of? Woody Woodpecker? No, that was Terry Jane. Doesn't matter. But those two especially, Popeye and Betty Boop, were their most popular. And so they made this animated short as well.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't know that.
so yeah, I didn't either going in. I was like, wait, Dave Fleischer? Really? Fleischer made this? That's so crazy.
Yeah, Santa's it. It reminds me of like the way this cartoon was drawn. It reminds me of a lot of those little short cartoons where like it's a lot of the animation's kind of jumpy. There's
Yeah.
a video game out that mimics some of the animation. Oh man, it's like you're like the coffee cup
Oh,
game.
Cuphead. Yeah, yeah.
Cuphead. So Cuphead is the animation in that video game looks similar to the animation you see in this film, this short film.
Absolutely. No, they definitely emulate that style in that game. It's
Yeah,
why I really love that game. It's really fun.
yeah, it's super hard.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like Santa right there looks a little odd, but maybe at this time it was kind of cool looking. I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about you. It was hard for me to see what was going on.
That's the one thing with all these cartoons. It's like the darks are really dark when they put it on the DVD. It's like it's for some reason they didn't lighten it up or whatever, but like everything's
Yeah.
really dark, and especially what's the other one? The Ice Queen. Everything's dark in that movie. Mhm.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure the YouTube one is just a rip from either DVD or VHS of it. Because yeah, it
Well,
was
these probably
very
came
dark.
out in a movie theater, right?
Yes, yes. The shorts would be ahead of feature length films. I'm pretty sure the Snow Queen was in theaters because there's a poster for it.
So
So
there was probably some different lighting back then, so it probably looked a lot better.
probably.
I'm
But
surprised they're in color, and
yeah,
I wonder if they were colorized. Like maybe they were originally black and white, and then when they brought them over to the DVD, they were colorized, and maybe that's why it's all dark and weird.
could be. I do know that by about the mid 40s, they did have more colored cartoons, but it was more of the higher end. It wasn't the like the cheapo ones
Okay,
for like
so
B
Looney Tunes had
movies.
colors.
Yeah,
Looney Tunes had colors, but the sad little reindeers probably didn't. Okay,
it probably not.
got it.
So, what are your thoughts overall, though, on this cartoon? What would you give it out of five? Score 1 to 5.
If I compare it to the claymation one, I would probably say this one's probably a 3.
No, yeah, I agree. I give it a 3.5. It's not a terrible cartoon by any stretch of the imagination. It's just the claymation's better.
Your kids would probably like it. Yeah, they would probably
Yeah,
like it regardless. Yeah. Hmm.
I will say some of the animation of the deer was a little weird. Like when they're sitting down like people, they're all like crunched up weird. It was kind of creepy looking.
This is not the weirdest one
No, it's not the weirdest one for sure.
out of the 3. Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, coming out of the gate. Ugh. All right, let's move on then to the next tune, which is the Snow Queen.
Yeah, the Snow Queen. Again, I think this one had to be altered. I'm sure it was in color in theaters, but this had to. This was a full length feature, so it's kind of like Snow White, right? Probably when it
Yeah,
came out. I'm guessing it was probably colored a little different than what we see on the DVD, because
I'm sure.
this movie was the darks were in the animation were pitch black, and sometimes you couldn't even see some of the characters, like the birds, the
Oh
crows.
yeah,
They were black, and you really couldn't see them. But um, the story is the real story of the Snow Queen, and what's that movie? A lot of the youngsters now, the Frozen.
oh yeah,
They
Frozen.
they they that's basically based off a Snow Queen, but they replaced it with two sisters that are kind of meddling, fighting with each other. This one is an actual queen that just is pretty cold, and she kidnaps the girl's brother, and that girl tries to save him, and she's just kidnapping him because she just wants to kind of mistreat him and pull the happiness out of him. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pretty dark movie, but
Oh
this is
yeah.
based off a Hans Christian tale, which those weren't very happy tales in the first place. So
No, they're more of moral lessons.
yeah, like this kid took candy from a stranger and he got locked up.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
happens. You'll get frozen if you steal candy, kids.
yeah, but it is a kind of a dark movie in the sense of the colors and also the story itself. But I know you're going to ask me, so I'm probably going to give this one. If it wasn't for the colors, I would probably give this one more of a 4, but I'm going to have to give it a 3. If someone went in here and redid all the colors, this movie would be this would probably be a 4. I think it would be a lot better than Frozen, to be honest.
Yeah. That's certainly more interesting for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I gave it a 3 as well. Um, I love the animation, but I thought her style did not fit at all with any of the other characters. I mean, maybe that was the point, but hers almost
Sorry.
felt like an anime versus like whatever everybody else was.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not. That's a great question because she does look kind of like an animated cartoon, but I don't. Who knows who drew this?
Right.
Maybe they
Some
did
Russian
hire.
guy.
Maybe yeah, maybe they did hire someone from Japan to draw her. Who knows at that time, because there wasn't a lot of animators, and so there was, but there wasn't as many as you have going forward. Like you had Disney, and then you had But I don't think you had a robust group of animators, so
No.
maybe they did, because that it doesn't look kind of like an animated style, but she was supposed to be drawn to look very harsh in any way. So she was supposed to have a lot of hard lines. So that's probably, you know what, you say anime, but I bet you she probably looks more of an Art Deco person.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. A bit Art Deco, almost not quite nouveau, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like if you would see a statue of her on like one of the old buildings in New York or something.
Yeah. No, I agree with that a lot actually.
Yeah.
And kind of on a side note, reading a little bit about the production of this. So it was a Russian cartoon brought over to America by Universal. So technically,
Okay.
this is Universal's first cartoon. And then uh, I guess Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli was heavily inspired by this movie to make cartoons.
There you
Like
go.
that, like they got him back into it because I guess he wasn't very confident, and this helped change his perception. So there
That's a
you
good.
go, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, if I saw this without, maybe it was altered and in the actual theater, it probably would have came off a lot better. But I think if it's just on the DVD, or it just didn't look that great. So I bet you if you saw this in the movie theater, you would probably be like, oh yeah, that's actually really good. So
Yeah. So if anybody has a negative of it out there, please restore it
yeah, yeah,
so we can
yeah.
see what's going on.
Come on, Universal, you're remaking
Yeah.
everything else. Let's do it.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Okay, cool. Oh, I gotta add too. So because it was from Russia, brought to America, they had to do some dubbing. It
yeah,
is awful,
it is.
awful dubbing.
It was probably the first time they ever did it. So
Oh, for sure. I don't know. It was a little too over the top for me. Cute cartoon all around. I think kids would enjoy it. But like I
yeah,
said, if they can't really see it, maybe not. I don't know. But
yeah.
all right. Let's move on to the last tune here. Santa and the Three Bears.
This one reminds me of more of a Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers type style cartoon.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of the Flintstones a little bit too, more of a Hanna-Barbera as well.
Yeah, and this one, is or like a Yogi Bear, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I was
Yeah,
thinking that too.
yeah, and this one's, uh, it's funny because you have the mom's like super tired, like she wants to go to bed and hibernate, but her youngsters just don't want to, and they get into mischief in the cold winter forest, and the ranger kind of helps them out, so without giving too much away.
Yeah.
But it's a fun story. It's lighthearted enough. And the animation's actually pretty good. And like I said, it is compared to. It looks more like a Flintstones Warner Brothers type of cartoon. So if your kids into that kind of stuff, they would like it. They would probably get enjoy out of this one. And so I would say out of all, this one would be one of my favorite ones. So this would be I would say this one would be a 4. Yeah.
Nice. Now, did your version have the weird like porpoise stuff at the beginning with like a dolphin?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So the one I saw on YouTube, it has an old grandpa or uncle or whatever with all these kids, live like real people going to an aquarium, and he's like, "Let me tell you a story about this guy." And he sits down, and then it opens to this cartoon.
I don't think so, but I remember in the Snow Queen there was a guy with a group of kids, and he was handing out Christmas presents, and that's how he tells the story of the Snow Queen.
Yeah.
But I don't
Well,
remember that from this.
it was so bizarre. Like it's like, let me tell you, and then the dolphins were singing Christmas music too, and it was all live action. It was so weird.
No, I don't. No.
It also felt tacked on though. I was like, I wonder if they added these later because it did not fit at all with the cartoon.
Weird. No, not at all. I don't think I remember that. Now I'm gonna have to go
So,
back and rewatch it. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I thought it was.
yeah,
Maybe I thought it was something else, and then it happened. So
maybe, but it's like a good 12 minutes before the actual cartoon starts. So it might not even be on the DVD version.
okay.
crazy. So anyway, because of that part, I hated it.
Oh, that's a bummer. So,
But I did. I thought the cartoon was fine, harmless. But I don't know. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
oh, I liked it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
No hard feelings.
Yeah. But I definitely agree. I think kids would really, really enjoy it. The cartoon part, especially with the bears and whatnot. It was cute.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. And then there's a couple more cartoons on it, but I think those are the only three we saw.
Yeah, the DVD, if you were to buy it, has like 4 hours of Christmas cartoons, and I think a good 45 minutes of that or an hour of that is the Snow Queen, and then I think the rest of it is just all the rest of the cartoons.
Yeah, I think they're like standard, like 8-10 minutes for the rest of them.
Yeah, I think Rudolph and this one are a little longer, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with that, would you recommend people pick up this DVD?
Only if you're going to show it to kids.
Yeah.
Or if you're really into Christmas. Yeah. And you just want to see some classic Christmas. There are some other ones on there that were very classical type of Christmas that you could probably get a kick out of watching. So
Cool. All right. I don't know if I'll be picking it up, but I'll keep watching them on YouTube. How about that?
perfect. We probably got it in the dollar bin at the dollar store.
Well, it's so funny how that happens. So, like, I have a bunch of those kind too, of just old cartoons like that, and you'll find some hidden gems on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I really, even though I thought the dubbing was terrible, I think someone really should restore that Snow Queen one. I think that would look really cool on Blu-ray or DVD, even.
Yeah,
Higher
even if
quality
they
DVD.
tried to like reanimate, like just keep the story and keep the animation, but yeah, like cleaned it up a little bit, went to raw. Yeah, I think it would be really good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe AI can do that.
Hey. It's probably in the public domain, honestly.
Yeah.
So go for it, kids.
Yeah.
Fix the Snow Queen cartoon. All right. Well, I think that's kind of our thoughts on those little cartoons today.
Special video just for you.
Just for you. Merry Christmas, an additional gift for you.
Yeah.
But
No, that was fun. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we just reviewed the little cartoons. I thought that was great. So it fits it fits what you got going on, and it's good. So I'm glad. Watch. This will be the video that takes off.
Yep. I appreciate that. But go ahead and tell everybody again where they can find you, just social media and whatnot.
Yeah.
We'll close
So
the
if you
show.
want to hear more movie reviews or opinions, I have an After the Weekend YouTube channel where we called After the Weekend, and we review movies from our past. So it's me and a couple guys, and we review movies from the 80s and 90s and some of the 2000s where we probably watched as a kid and probably shouldn't have watched when we were a kid, but we really enjoyed them and we want to relive those memories because we think it's great. And so you can find me over there. And then on Late Night with Cap is another channel of mine where it's just more mysteries, UFOs, Bigfoot stories, ghosts type of deals. So we have a good time over there, kind of talking about all that kind of stuff as well. So you can find me over there.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks again for coming on, and we'll definitely have you on again for a movie review and maybe some more cartoons too.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. And with that, this has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin. Take care, everyone.